What is an emergency fund, and why do you need one? A year and a half ago, no one had foreseen a global pandemic knocking on our doors. All the job losses, house evictions, loss of incomes, it was all not anticipated. Since then, coming up with money to cover major expenses has been a challenge for most people. COVID-19 has shown people the importance of having an emergency fund. Therefore, let's see what an emergency fund is, and why we need it. An emergency fund is money that has been put away for use when faced with financial distress. The objective of having an emergency fund is to improve one's financial security by creating a safety net which can be utilized to meet unanticipated expenses, like a sickness, major car repairs, unemployment, etc. Having an emergency fund reduces the need to go for high-interest debt options, like Shylocks or unsecured loans. Why do you need an emergency fund? 1. You're trying to pay off debt. An emergency fund helps you stop incurring more debts with every financial challenge encountered. It covers for the things you haven't budgeted for, like vehicle repairs or medical expenses. You can use it to handle these stressful events and make it better and easier for you to stay focused on your path to get out of debt. 2. You just started budgeting. When you first begin budgeting, you may be unconsciously leaving out some of the very important expenses that need planning for. This fund is able to cover some of the expenses the first year, then you can proceed to add those expenses into your budget as they arise. 3. You only have one income stream. If you only have one job, it means you have one source of income. It is important to have a substantial emergency fund. This can help get through an illness that keeps the primary breadwinner from working or an unexpected job loss. Having at least a 6 months' worth of expenses in your emergency would cushion you in case the unthinkable happens. 4. You are self-employed or a contractor. Being self-employed or an independent contractor, or if you are working a fixed-term contract job, it is important to have a sufficient emergency fund in place. Also, if you realize that the contract may end soon, you may want to work on saving up more money in your emergency fund. 5. You own your home. Owning a home, you'll have to pay any necessary repairs and maintenance. Even though you usually set up a fund to cater for remodeling and repairs, unexpected costs like a repair in the plumbing system may occur. Your emergency fund can make owning a home a little bit less stressful. 6. You live far away from family. If you live abroad, it can be quite expensive to travel back home, and the costs go much higher if you need to travel urgently for an emergency. Having a good emergency fund saved up helps to cover the cost of last-minute tickets to travel home in the event of a funeral or a medical emergency. 7. You have medical issues. Having a serious medical condition can be draining and cause you to wipe out your hospital insurance each year. Also, some routine tests could add up quickly or need to use all of your sick leave days, and you end up taking days off with no pay. A good-size emergency fund can help you through these costs and make it easier to get through these challenging moments. 8. You're saving for a goal. If you have a set financial target and are saving towards it, your emergency fund can prevent you from digging into those savings when unanticipated costs arise. This will help to not be pushed steps behind on your path towards your goal. How do you build an emergency fund? 1. Have a target. You can calculate how much you will need for a period of time, say 6 months, and have it as your target. Make sure every need is catered for in the total figure. 2. Set a proportion to save from your income, then transfer the money to your emergency fund every time you get your paycheck. This will develop in you the habit of saving regularly and will make the saving less daunting. 3. Assess and adjust contributions. Check on the health of your account after a few months to see how much you've saved, and adjust if you are able or if needed, especially if you recently have withdrawn money from your emergency fund. Also consider investing any additional income if you've saved up enough to cover 6 months of expenses and have extra cash. When do you use your emergency fund? Sometimes it may be tempting to use these funds toward a holiday, paying off some debts, making a down payment on a new home, or another significant expense that may occur. It's important to create a list of expenses that are acceptable for things that this money has been designated for. They should be true emergencies, things such as medical emergencies, covering your living costs during unemployment periods, paying for repairs to your home as a result of a natural calamity or a fire, emergency veterinarian bills, and unforeseen vehicle repairs. The whole aim of an emergency fund is to prevent you from adding on to your debt in times of need. It should also allow you to absorb any shocks resulting from unexpected events. If, say, you are laid off, an emergency fund that covers up to 6 months of monthly expenses will allow you to get back on your feet faster. You Definitely, would want to ensure that this money is safely stored in your account and it should be easily accessible for those occasions when you need it. Further, putting it in a bank can help it grow on its own, by earning interest. However challenging it may seem or maybe even pointless to live below your means, you will probably be happier that you did save up when that emergency happens and the overall impact on your financial health is minimal. You can only depend on yourself to get out of trouble. Bad things may happen to anyone, and working on your financial health should be a priority just as well as working on your physical health is. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, share with friends and subscribe to this channel for more inspiring and informative videos.